Marisa with BeCozi.net is here. BeCozi.net and BeCozi.com is an American website with the biggest collection of chunky yarns in United States and actually in the whole world. BeCozi.com and BeCozi.net is the same website, and we are located in Holland, Michigan. So if you're local or if you're visiting our beautiful town, please feel free to stop at our office. We don't have storefront, but we have an office, and we're always happy to see our customers. So today I will be promoting our Chunky Chanel yarn in a new color. This is a new color I created recently, Crimson Storm. This color has black, gray, and candy cane red, and that's the three colors we will be using with Crimson Storm today: black, gray, and candy cane. So these three colors plus crimson red, and this will be our beautiful blanket. So the pattern will be just combination of knitting and purling stitches, and just alternating these four beautiful colors. This blanket is size 50 by 50. In the video I will be showing you how to make a small sample, because it's much easier to show the pattern on a small sample. And then underneath the video there is information how many stitches you need to cast on for 4 different sizes. So this colors available only at BeCozi.net. So don't run to a craft store, please. Just go to BeCozi.net. We're shipping very fast, and our shipping fees, or it's not our shipping fees, it's USPS shipping fees. They're pretty affordable. You can select priority mail or ground, which is cheaper but a little bit longer. Order this yarn, we will ship it to you and make this beautiful blanket. Share your creations at BeCozi Facebook Hand Knitting Club. It's a huge club of almost 20,000 people where hand knitters are sharing their creations. Let's get started. Right. Okay, guys, so that's the yarn we will be using, these colors. We will start with the black. Then after black we will be using candy cane, then we will be using gray, and then Crimson Storm, our new color. So those will be the colors we will be using in this order. So let's start with the black one. I'll put it here. So the sample I will be showing on a small piece because it's easier. So let's see. I have scissors and I have a lighter. I'm using lighter to burn the end of the yarn to prevent unraveling, like that. Before I was making a knot, now I'm just burning the end of the yarn. So what are we doing? We are placing the yarn in front of us like that. We are making a loop by placing working yarn on the top of the tail. This is our loop. Insert your hand inside the loop, grab working yarn, pull this stitch out, and these two pieces, tail and working yarn, down, like that. We just had the first stitch done, and the stitch should be a little bit smaller. So this is the tail, you're pulling working yarn down, like that, to make it about 1 inch, a little bit over 1 inch. Now insert your hand inside this first stitch, grab working yarn and pull it out. So we just made second stitch. You can see that I'm trying to make it of the same size. And now we will be making a chain. As I said, it's a sample. I will be making only 10 stitches to make it easier for you to see and for me to show. And under the video I will place the measurements and how many stitches you need for different sizes of blankets. So we have 2 stitches. I'm pressing the stitch down, this second stitch. I'm inserting my hand, grabbing working yarn and pulling yarn out. So we have 3 stitches. The reason I'm pressing it, because when I make a next stitch, this will keep this stitch of the same size. It will not be getting out, yarn will not be getting out and getting bigger than it should be. So here it is. So let's count our stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Again, the measurements will be under the video, how many stitches you will need for baby blanket, small blanket, medium, large, and XLarge. This is just a sample. So now we are turning this on another side. Working yarn goes on the back, and the reason we turn it on another side, because that is the only way to start the bottom of the blanket that would give you this beautiful chain on the bottom. So this is our first stitch. Go from underneath, grab, insert your fingers, grab working yarn and pull it out. So this is our first stitch. Now we will be using the middle part of the stitch, guys, not the top, not the bottom, the middle part. Again, we need to have this beautiful chain on the bottom. So see, we use this stitch, we just made first stitch. Now middle part, not the top, not the bottom, middle part. Insert your fingers, grab working yarn, pull it out. So we now have 2 first stitches. Now we will be using this middle part of the stitches to pull out the first row, to knit or to pull out the first row. So the middle part of the stitch, lift it, insert your fingers, grab working yarn and pull it out. So here we are. We knitted all our 10 stitches. Now we are knitting second row in the same simple knitting stitch. Insert your finger, grab working yarn, pull it out. Try to make stitches a little bit smaller, because this way you will have a nicely knitted blanket and it will not be stretchy when you use it. So here we are. We had 2 rows of black. Now we will have 2 rows of candy cane of this bright red color, and this one we will be purling. Okay, so every 2 rows we will be purling candy cane color. Okay, we will have, as I said, black, then we will have candy cane purled, then we will have gray knitted, then candy cane purled again, and then crimson storm knitted. So just remember it, or I will actually write it down on the bottom underneath the video. This is like, I have a piece of paper where I wrote how I was doing it, and I will write it for you too. So we are purling next a few rows with candy cane. The thing is that there are 2 ways to do it. You can simply start purling with this next row like that. You just place the yarn and push it through the stitch. That's a purl stitch. So then take a next stitch and push yarn through. And this is a simple purling stitch, guys. And if you are new to hand knitting or you want it to be simpler, that's how you want to do it, okay? Just simply purl. I want to avoid this black in the middle of the red. And for this reason, I will be knitting the first row of red color every time I am introducing it, okay? As I said, we will be purling 2 rows of candy cane every next color, but before we purl, we will be knitting it. And the reason we will be knitting 1 row, because we want to avoid that separation of colors that looks not really clean on the finished blanket. And again, you can do it. Some people actually like the way it looks, but I will be doing it this way. So this way we actually will have 3 rows of red. So 1 row will be knitted to see we're hiding this look when there are 2 red and black in the middle. So we are purling 2nd row of the candy cane, and then we will purl the next one. This way, on the finished blanket, it will look like 2 rows of the red, but we'll actually have 3 rows. See? You don't see that first row that was knitted because it's kind of underneath. So now we are purling next row. It's our 3rd row in red, but on the blanket it actually looks like the 2nd. This way the blanket will look like we have 2 rows of each color. Okay, so here we are. So what do we do now? We are now knitting 2 rows of gray. And this is actually kind of a suggestion of colors, and as I said, I will put the information underneath the video, what colors I'm using and how many rows. But you can use any colors you want. You can actually use only 2 colors, like black and red. But I really like this combination because crimson red consists of black, gray, and red. That's why I'm using all the 3 colors plus crimson red. So what are we doing next? Next, we will be knitting 2 rows of gray because we are knitting 2 rows and then purling 2 rows of red. Knitting 2 rows of new color, and then purling 2 rows of red. And again, if you want a different color combination, feel free to do it. The main pattern is 2 knitted rows, 2 purled. And for purled, as I showed you, first row is knitted. You don't see it. It looks like 2 and 2. So now we knitted 2 gray. Now we are knitting, we knitted first row of gray, sorry, and now we are knitting 2nd row of gray. And here's the good part about when you're knitting 2 rows, if you're knitting 2 rows only. So here you see that red color is still sitting here. So what we can do, we don't need to cut, we don't need to connect. What we will do, we will just place the red yarn behind the gray, and we will start purling our part of purling red. Remember again, we're knitting first row to hide the connection. We're doing it every time we are purling this part. In our case, it's red color. So every time you are introducing red color, it will be first row knitted, and then it will be purled 2. So what we're doing here on the side, guys, so we can actually make a beautiful chain even if we are purling some rows here. The kind of trick is to knit the first stitch, okay, and then start purling. Because if you will be purling the first row, then it will look like that. It will look like a bump. So you can do it if it's easier for you. But if you want to knit it and have a beautiful chain on the side, then we are knitting it, see? So I'm showing you both ways. Here I showed you how to purl the first stitch, and you see it looking bumpy. And here I'm showing you, you can knit the last 2 or first and last stitch, and then it will give you a beautiful chain on the side. So here we are purling our second row, and this is our third row of red. Okay, I hope it's not too confusing, because when you're using a few colors it might be a little bit confusing. So here we are done with our red, and we are actually knitting the last one. Here you go, see, we have beautiful chain forming here. So now after 2 candy purl, we have 2 rows of the crimson storm. Okay, so what we're doing, we're simply placing the yarn here, and we are knitting the first stitch. Because it's a new color, we need to introduce it. It should look the same on all stitches, and simply knitting 2 rows of crimson red. Okay, so this is our first row, and second row. When you're knitting this, if it's the same color, if it's not new color introduced, I will actually skip it, because that will make the chain over here looking nicer. And you can knit it, especially if you're new to hand knitting. Here we are. Crimson red is done, and now we are back to our candy cane, guys. And again, we can just simply use candy cane. Just make sure to put it underneath, like that. See? It's going underneath. And then we are knitting our first row, as I was showing you 2 previous times, to hide that connection side. And then we are purling 2, and you can skip the first stitch to continue making a chain on the side, and then start purling from the next stitch, from the second stitch. So this is our second row, and first row purling. This one we're knitting, and now we are purling our second row of candy cane, and we are actually almost done, because then it will be just repeating this pattern through the blanket, depending what size you're making. Here we are, and now we need our black yarn back, and it's still hanging here. See, I didn't cut it, so I can actually cut it here, because I will show you what I will do next. So here we are, because this will be the black color. Oh, see, that's what I'm trying to avoid when I am burning the end. That prevent the end from unraveling, and the pieces of yarn are not falling around. So here we are knitting 2 rows of black, because this is our pattern. 2 rows black knitted, 3 rows red, first knitted, 2 purled, 2 rows gray knitted, 2 rows purled red with first row knitted, 2 rows crimson storm knitted, purled rows of red, and 2 rows of black knitted. And then you will be just repeating the same pattern. As I said, I will write it down underneath the video, and this way you can write it down for you and print it and put it in front of your face like that, and then you would know what row you are knitting or purling. Okay, so here we are done with our sample, guys. It's a very small sample, but it's very easy to show when it's all small. So now we will finish it. We will cast off. How to cast off? Take this first stitch, knit it, and then insert fingers inside the stitch, add the second stitch, and then knit them together. That's the reason I'm knitting this first stitch, because this way you have this beautiful corner, okay? So now we will be simply knitting 2 stitches at a time to create the cast off chain on the top of the blanket. Here we are. Here you go. So what are we doing now? Now we are cutting the yarn. I am burning the end to prevent unraveling on both sides, because I might need to use that yarn later. And then you insert this end inside this last stitch and pull it out. Here we are. Now you can hide it. See this chain? So I will go under and over, and then you can hide it on the back like that. You will not really see it here. So now what we need to do, we need to get rid of this tails, okay? So let me show how to do it on the finished blanket. You cut the yarn, you leave an inch or so, and then what you will do, you turn it on another side. This is how it looks on another side, by the way. It kind of looking nice too here. So then you see that you will have these tails. So you're taking these tails and you're making a knot to connect them, and then you're cutting the yarn to get rid of the tail, okay? So then the same here, you have 2 pieces and you are making a knot and you're cutting the yarn close to the knot. You also can burn this areas a little bit. Try not to burn your blanket. And then you're doing it all the way over here, because that's how you get rid of this connection sides, okay? So here we are, and again, burn a little bit. So this is our beautiful sample. On the side where you started the blanket, it's burned. Again, you are hiding it underneath the chain like that. And then on the back of the blanket, you just hide it underneath any stitches like that. This yarn stalks because it's fluffy, and it will stay there when it's used. You can actually sew it together if you want to. So this is my sample, guys, and let me show you the finished blanket that I showed at the beginning. So that's how it looks on the finished blanket. Look at this beauty. It's really soft and beautiful, beautiful color combination, perfect for upcoming Valentine's Day. This yarn is available only at BeCozi.net. Go get some yarn, make this beautiful blanket, and share your picture on the Facebook group of BeCozi company. It's called BeCozi Hand Knitting Club on Facebook. Stay warm and BeCozi. Hey guys, Larissa with BeCozi.net is here. I would like to introduce my hand knitting book. The book was published in September 21, and recently it was also published with the Christian Publishing Agency. It's available on our website and also available on Amazon. This is the only book on hand knitting on the craft market. It's extremely unique and very beautiful book explaining hand knitting, giving you a history of our company, how hand knitting was born, and then it also gives you a few patterns, simple patterns with a very detailed pictures how to make every single step on the way. Go to the link underneath this video and purchase this book, and let's hand knit.